Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So, the last reading that I did kind of took a toll on me. Doing those kind of readings really take a lot. And so now I understand why Spirit wanted me to do the blue deck of readings before the woman's one, because that was an intense message. And I actually had planned on doing 3 of them today. And if I had started off with that one, I probably wouldn't have done any of them. But we got one left. And so when I was picking out the cards, this one popped out. And I was like, they're like, you haven't done one on love for a while. And I think there's been so many readings that have been like, hi Cooper, that have been like divorce, or the last one was about emotionally abusive situation. And so I told Spirit, like, I need something positive and uplifting. And they're like, that's why we had you pick out the romance angels. We've got it with the divine guidance. And then we're just going to use the Hermetic Tarot. But what I thought was interesting is I was getting these all ready. I lit a candle. I lit a candle when we first started. And after that last reading, it's almost out. It's so low. And as I pulled these ones out, this little spark came. It was like it's just trying. It just wants to ignite, wants to be full blown. And so I see that as like the heart, right? The heart wants to love. And so let's just give it a little bit of help. There we go. Back to good. Just was a little bit extra excess, a little bit of, it was like drowning. It was just drowning in emotion. It was like a lot. Coopy-doo, I see you've come to do some readings with us. Do you want to hop up? All right. Ugh. I've got pants on today, so you can't hurt me. Okay. So, Koopa Doopa, do you want to be on camera? Can you be seen? Hey, there's Koopa. Says, hey, how you doing? Cooper's been doing good. All right, let's there, you can be on camera too. We only need a little bit of my head. So first, let's just shake up some things, because I get, life happens and there's still love in everything. So I'm telling Spirit, you cannot give me a heavy reading right now, because my heart cannot handle it. And that was pretty much the message. They knew even before. They knew that one was going to be heavy on me. And so we got something light coming through. We got love. Because you know what? There's always love. First one to come through, we got attraction. It says, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So how can you stop and smell the roses and enjoy? Well, now my pessimistic mind is like, yeah, but not many flowers smell anymore. Whoa, Koopadoos, what's that say? It says passion. And how many of these are we even doing? I heard, okay. Okay, sorry, that was a lot. So the first thing that I got was, I said, how many am I going to do? And then I heard 4, and then I heard teen, and then I heard 14. And so we pulled 14 cards, and I don't even know if we really need these ones, but let's just move them out of the way for a bit. And so when I heard 4, it was like, it was 14, but the teen stood out. It had something to do with, like, when you're like a teenager and you kind of have like that puppy love kind of energy or something like that. Like something to do with like a first time. Because that's what teenage years kind of remind me of. It's like when you're a kid, you kind of do what you're told, and then as a teenager, you get more say, and right, things like that. So I want to put them all in a pile and talk like that then. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I think 15 snuck out. Because, yeah. No, they're telling me to shuffle these ones too. Because they're saying there's going to be a part where I don't understand, and I'm going to use this for reference. So to get them ready now. What I think is interesting. Here's the cards that we pulled. These two are mixed up within this. These two are separate on their own, but there is this mix of it. That's interesting. And then how many of this? They said we didn't really need this, but we know that you really wanted 3. So it's a me thing. I do. I like using 3 decks. Oh, 4 came out. Okay, so let's get to our little love story. Koopadoos, we're going on a journey of love. A love story. You gonna be calm and cool for this whole thing? I hope so. Okay, so we start off with attraction. It says you can attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So I keep being brought to like teenagers. I don't know about you, right? I guess some, but when I see it, I see like energy that can't be contained. I see people are just like excited and happy and loud, like that teenager energy. But then they showed me some people who are like really quiet and all those other things, but that's not the energy that's coming through. No, you go lay in your bed then. So the next one we have is passion. And that's that energy I just said, that loud. And it says, allow your heart to sing with joy. And the need to learn to love yourself first. So when I was putting out the cards, I heard RuPaul come into my head. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? And so here we have these 2 individuals. We've got, I feel like this is the masculine, this is the feminine, vice versa. One seems to be more introspected and cold, maybe, or watery. And then this one's more like fiery and passionate and like sunshine, like sun and the moon. Feminine and masculine energies coming together. And so how could these 2 even mix, right? How can this one be like, you're my everything, if they've never even experienced this color or this depth before? It takes a while, right? And then look at this process. It's almost like I'm seeing the brown stand out right now. And these brown moments are almost like these 2 trying so hard to like mix and match, and you know when you take like your paint colors and they just turn muddy. It's just like one big mud, and you're like, if I take all these colors, it's going to be rainbow or something beautiful, but it just turns out to be like a blah color. And that's what I'm getting is like the first mixing, or you know, you meet someone you're attracted to, and there's that passion. But if you don't love yourself first, you're going to lose yourself. You're going to turn into brown. And so there is this need to, oh, the next one, worth waiting for. What Spirit's really saying in this story is how important it is for you to know who you are so that you don't lose yourself. We want you to stay, especially this one. This one's sunshine. We don't want you to lose your light or become dull when you meet another. Because as I see this one's more the moon and introspective. And then so this one being like, well, I never liked sunshine in the first place. But that's not true. That's who you are. And so we do meet people. Oh, pay attention to red flags. We do meet people who make us question ourselves. Like, okay, I'm just gonna, okay, you go out. Who make us question ourselves. And it says the signs are cautioning you. And we never want you to lose your essence. We don't want you to pretend to be something that you're not. And there's a lot of people out there wearing false masks, especially when you're in your teenage years, because you just want to learn, right? You meet someone and they have such this opposite viewpoint of you, that you're like, okay, maybe I'll try that on. And that's what your teenage years are like meant to be. You're meant to go, you're meant to learn, you're meant to blossom. And so you go, you try all these things, you make quite a few mistakes, and then you learn from them and you grow. So there's the next one is religious factors. And you realize that by going and learning these red flag things, that not everything is for you. This says your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So that one again goes to this sun. We don't want you to lose your light by trying to impress someone else who can't even see your light. And so this brown, this muck, this mud here, I feel like this is future tense. There's a part of you, no, this is all the time tense, because it said 11:11 when I said that. There's a part of you that is your spiritual path. And if you are sunshine, you'll always be sunshine, right? You can't, I'm almost seeing like someone be like super, super happy, like sunshine. They're just like this freaking ray of golden sunshine trying to be a goth. Like, and good try, but like who you are is who you are, and you're going to glow and you're going to be happy. And so, I don't know, there's just these little moments, right? And I think that's what our teenage years really are. It's meant to go dye your hair different colors, meant to go try things, dress differently, whatever it is. But in the end, your true colors are going to shine through. So I forgot that there's 14 of these, so let's just condense it a little bit. So, past life relationship. I'm being drawn to a situation where you met someone where there was that attraction and passion, and it's like things clicked off so good. It's like that puppy love. That's what they started singing, and they call it puppy love. And it's because you guys have had many lives together in the past. Maybe you were married in previous lifetimes. So you come across these people and it's like your soul, as this one said, your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. There's these people that when you meet them, it's just like an activation happens. Like you just instantly love them and you don't know why. And it's because they're part of your soul family, or you've met them in different things. So it's like that recognition. It's like going to a party and you like don't know anyone. You like look around and you finally see someone you know and you're like, oh, and then there's like that calm, comfortable. It's like that, it's almost like that. So now take that, take away the remembering the past life, but there's still that click of aha and like, oh, you, there you are. So what about this? Is this actually like a story, or is this a general how love kind of thing is? They say go over to the cards I want. We have 4 of Wands, we have 8 of Swords in reverse, we have the Star, and then we have the Universe in reverse. So this is just talking about karmic cycles and freeing yourself from them. What is this one? The Lord of Perfected Work. And it's not perfected, it's in reverse, with the 8 of Swords being stuck in a cycle, but freeing yourself from that cycle, because the Star, and the Star is the daughter of Firmament, and then the Great One of the nighttime. But it was in reverse, because it's not nighttime. I keep picturing someone who is sunlight, or someone who's light, and as this one said, the Star. I always put the sun and stars together. The sun is a star. And so that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this flash or this cycle or this life go over and over. And it's like, that's that teenage energy they're talking about. It's like you go for a life and you're like, I'm going to be this way this time. And then you go do your things. And then, you know, you pass away, you become dust to stars. And then we do it again, and then this time I want to be the male version, and this time I want to be noble, and this time I want to be the working class. And it's like you've worked and you've been all these things. And so that's what that past life is. I'm almost seeing, and you know what, there's this movie, what's that one called? Cloud Atlas. I watch it and there's just so much. I think I have to read the book before I can watch the movie, because there's so much more to that I just don't understand. I feel like there's more depth to it, but it all seems like such surface stuff. But for some reason, Cloud Atlas is coming through. And in that one, I always like how they take the characters and like make them be even different races and things like that. But you could still kind of almost tell it's the same character, but they change so much. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's what they show me. And then my confusion be like, oh, that's that person, which this is what it's talking about. Okay, so we've got romantic feelings in reverse, and followed behind that is deception. So past life, romantic feelings, being deceived, and it's saying to give your relationship a chance, to stay optimistic about life. So let me tap into this deception. Well, when I see this deception, they're wearing masks, and like this little cherub's trying to take off her mask. It says someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. They both are wearing masks. His is just prettier, but Spirit knows. I'm confused about this mask. Now they say go back to these. So when we first looked at them, there was the two separate colors, and those seem to stand out the most in this. But now we need to go into the depth and things, because there was one time they all went in. Someone was wearing a false mask, and they were pretending to be who they weren't. Really, it was just them going in, trying on a new hat, being like, do I like this hat? No, whatever. And yeah, and then you felt drawn to want to put on that hat, they say, because of this past life. But once you kind of went into it, it's like, all right, just because our souls have been together, like I don't like this energy. I don't like losing myself. I don't want to be colorless and in the void when I'm meant to shine. And that's the same with this blue energy. This one seems to burn really hot and be passionate, but this one has depth and character and like very insightful. And so for this one to kind of go into something and almost be like superficial, that's so hard for that kind of energy. This one is all about like trying new things and excitement and like, you know, going outside the comfort zone. But when I look in on these two mixing, it's talking about give your relationship a chance, because this one can't be that one, and that one can't do the superficial things. And even when you put them in those situations, like they'll try and make you happy, but it's a false mask. They're not happy. They don't want to be in that energy, but it's saying to give your relationship a chance and to stay optimistic about life, because the next one, we have a soulmate card. And I can't help but feel that these two energies are soulmate energies, because this one card had them both here mixed. It's like, how can these two come together? Let's put this out. No, I just don't want to see the one under it, because I feel like each time I put it out, I see the next one, and I want to get this story out. There's something that needs to be done. So when I look into this, I don't know if you guys can see really close. There's almost this pathway up in the middle, and it's almost like two checkers or something, and then it's almost like I see it as a great hall, and then there's like almost an elevator of things. So here I see like the floor. There's two. I see one coming. Here's the great hall. And then it's almost like there's 1, 2, and then 3. And And it's the two coming together. The two pretend to do what the other one wants outside of themselves, right? That they come together and they create this brown. And it's really, it's almost a red flag, right? There is that flash of red. So there is a need to know your boundaries to not lose too much. But brown itself is like earthly energy. It's like bringing your source here to earth, love on earth, heaven on earth. I don't see brown as totally bad. You should want to work with others and blend with others. But what I see here is like how they both kind of, they don't do the red flags, but they come together no, this one has red. That red is from this one. They both come together harmoniously, and then they mix in the middle. And then as they kind of go through phases, there's 3 phases that you have to go through, they say. At the beginning, it almost seems like a whole bunch more. No, there's 1. Okay, so there's the first initial meeting phase, and in that one, there seems to be a lot of back and forth, back and forth. That one doesn't really count. But once you actually together start to work together, there's 3. And those are almost like, they say, like there's 3 significant fights that you guys have. And by the 4th one, that's that aha, like unification moment. What do I mean by fights? I don't mean like actually fighting, but it seems to be like the three, they almost show it as like, not 3 fights, but kind of like, they often say like you have like three loves of your lifetime or something like that. And I don't quite remember how exactly it is, but it's like the first one, the second one kind of teaches you, I don't know. I'm not even gonna pretend I remember what they are. But, and then it's like the first one seems to be mostly puppy love. The next one kind of like teaches you like who you are and what you want. They kind of challenge you. And then the third one is more on like an equal playing field. But when I don't see it that way. I see it as one person, because it said you've known this person from lifetimes, and to stay optimistic and give this relationship a chance, because I see it as like, because you guys are so vastly different. You're cut from 2 different cloths. Now it seems like 2 different energy sources, but it's actually the yin and the yang coming together. And so each time you guys have these things, it's really you fine-tuning and learning how you guys fit together. And so each one gets a little bit more clear to the golden. Because I see this as, right, because here we got yellow and red, and then this one's like blue and purple. I see the blue and purple coming together with the yellow and red. But then in here, when you look very close, it turns green. There's this green in there, and that one's green. It just doesn't really show up on the camera. So it's learning how to blend them all. And so one's very root-based, lower chakras, and one's more the higher. And then so they kind of meet in the middle. That's what that is. And it's like all these ideologies and things like that, especially as this one said, religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So there is different beliefs. And so it's fine-tuning these beliefs to work together. And so it's saying stay optimistic, because yes, this is your soulmate. And it seems like, I don't even know. I'm like, are each one of these 3 things like a split, like a breakup, and then you come back together? Because it was like saying, give your relationship a chance. And then it talked about romantic feelings being in reverse. It's like, I don't like this, I'm out kind of thing. And it's saying, stay optimistic. Oh, that's funny that I just said that. Because then we got the playfulness energy. And then we've got reconciliation. So it's like, is this a split? Like, is this people like leaving and breaking up and things like that? But I do see that these 2 energies are yin and yang. They're like, I'm seeing an avatar, the last airbender, for the water nation. I can't remember the fish's name, but like the gods, the two fish, I'm seeing them. And that's almost like this one. I'm seeing them there at the center. And so the yin and the yang, the feminine and the, well, it's the moon. So this one's very much moon energy, and then this one's very much sun. And it's hard to speak each other's language, but that's where most of the fights come from, they say. But the heart speaks the same language. So I want to pull another divine guidance card. 2, they say. 1 for each, and then we'll wrap it up. Oh, and 2 came. So those are the cards. Lots of purple in it. Whereas that talked again about how the blue is protective, and then they've got the yellow and red, and then it turns into green. I'm seeing almost that in this picture. But this one I'm seeing just, I'm hearing hallelujah. I'm celestial celebrations. We got the moon and the sun finally learning to come together and see eye to eye and heart to heart. That they've learned to put their differences aside and not put so much faith and trust in the other one to fulfill them. Because each time they wanted the other person to make themselves happy outside of themselves, they lost themselves and they turned brown and muddy, and so they finally learned to take their energy source and hold it. They've learned to take that space within themselves in their heart and just hold space for the other one, where now it is that unconditional love. It doesn't come with strings or attachments. Whereas before it was like, well, I want you to come do what I want you to be like me. Now it's just having that unconditional love for that other person to be that other person, and bringing things into harmony. Because I said there was 2 paths in that one kind of going up. It was like an elevator, and I almost saw it as like consciousness. And then it got to the third eye and it was like ding. And that's where that yellowish green one was. And then it kind of came out. And then I see that as, again, that hall. I see this hall of consciousness. And it's just like souls recognizing each other, that your soulmates, if you're going to use that term, throw that term around there. But your heart recognizes it. You recognized it at the beginning, and it really sent you on a journey of self-discovery. Because yes, this blue one needed to get out of their depths, and this one needed to be a little bit more into the depths, right? Like they're like, I want you to be like me. I want you to be like me. And it's like both of them needed to learn to merge that and put that energy together. And this one kind of looks chaotic, and it was like, it just, all those things, but eventually it does come together harmoniously and blend. So it's funny that they didn't want to lose themselves, but in the beginning they mixed together and it turned into like a brown color. But once all the colors come back together, it's just gonna go back to white light, which is all the colors, which is funny because there is no separateness, but they're both unique individuals. And that's the great story of this love story of these soulmates who have had very different upbringings when it comes to these religious. I hear one's religious, one's spiritual, something like that. Past lives recognized each other. They had romantic feelings, but they were pretending to be something that outside of themselves that they weren't. And so it said to give your relationship a try and stay optimistic, because this is your soulmate. And once you kind of get past them trying to be the way that you want them to be, there's going to be this lightheartedness, funness to it. It says to recapture romance, allow your inner youth spirit of fun to shine. So I feel like in this in-between phase, when there was that deception and masks and getting mad at turning brown, it's like it wasn't fun. And then now it's like, I get to be who I am and you get to be who you are. And so that's where that reconciliation comes, and that's when it's going to be fun. I felt like looking at the bottom of the deck, and it said you deserve love. And so no matter how much time has passed, the main thing at the beginning of this was learning to love yourself first. Self-respect makes you way more romantically attractive. And so it's worth the wait if you haven't learned that self-love yet. That's the only thing that was like missing in that one thing, because they were so willing to change. And you know, there are times where you're supposed to go out and learn and change and have fun, but it's worth waiting for that reconciliation when you both can stand in your energy and be excited to not want to change the other. So we'll leave it there. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.